The Bellerophon glided through the boundless reaches of space, its sleek dark hull reflecting the distant stars. Commander Nathan Reed stood on the command deck, pulse racing with anticipation. The intergalactic summit was about to begin, gathering dignitaries from across the galaxy to discuss fragile peace treaties. His crew moved efficiently at their stations, but Nathan's mind was elsewhere. "Commander!" A voice broke through his concentrated haze. It was Lieutenant Mara Lin, an eager young officer with bright eyes. "The Calyx delegation has just arrived." "Excellent. Prepare to transmit." Nathan's voice was steady, but his heart raced. He had heard stories about the Calyx and their emotional restraint. Would they truly be as detached as they seemed? As the ship's systems hummed, Nathan adjusted his uniform and stepped onto the observation platform to greet the incoming delegation. Moments later, the air shimmered as the transport docked, revealing a group of elegantly designed figures. Among them, one stood out, Sayla. She was striking, her iridescent scales glinting like gemstones under the artificial lights, and yet her expression was as neutral as stone. "Commander Reed." Her voice was velvety and cool. "We appreciate your invitation." "Welcome, Sayla." He extended his hand, a slight smile breaking the formality. "We need to establish some understanding between our peoples." She hesitated only slightly before taking his hand, their fingers brushing briefly. A spark surged through him as he felt the coolness of her scales against his skin. "Understanding is a complex venture," she replied, her eyes narrowing ever so slightly. "The universe is fraught with discord, but I'm hopeful we can work together." Nathan stepped back, trying to gauge her reaction. Behind her stoic demeanor, he sensed a flicker of curiosity. Sayla's gaze drifted past him, scanning the command deck with an analytical focus. "Curiosity is often tempered by caution." "Fair point," Nathan acknowledged. "Let's start with a tour of the ship." As he led her through the Bellerophon, Nathan narrated its features, the advanced technology, the living quarters, and the combat simulations. Sayla responded with polite nods, her face inscrutable. "What about your civilians?" she asked as they entered the observatory. "How do they cope with the pressures of war?" Nathan paused, taken aback by the directness. "We suffer, we learn, then we adapt. It's not easy, but we don't lose ourselves." She studied him, her light-colored eyes searching. "Isn't that dangerous?" "It's part of being human. Your people suppress emotions for survival, but ours fuel our resolve." His voice echoed in the room, a moment of vulnerability breaking through the surface. Sayla tilted her head, curiosity creeping into her expression. "You trust emotions to guide you?" Nathan ran a hand through his hair, feeling the weight of her question. "Trust isn't the right word, but yes, we do rely on emotions. They shape our answers, our motivations." Suddenly, a nervous crew member rushed in, his face flushed. "Commander, we have a situation on the lower deck." "Stay here," Nathan instructed Sayla, moving to handle the reporter. He exchanged a few hurried words with the crew member, ensuring it was a minor maintenance issue. When he returned, Sayla was shifting restlessly, her fingers brushing the edge of the control panel. "Would you like to see how we simulate combat?" Nathan asked, eager to divert her energy. "Combat, you say? How fascinating," she replied, arching an eyebrow. The simulation chamber was vast, walls adorned with lights. Nathan activated a series of holographic targets. "Ready?" "Ready," she replied, an edge of excitement creeping into her otherwise detached demeanor. Nathan powered up the training array and the room lit up with floating icons representing various threats. "All you have to do is react. Don't overthink it." He guided her through the motions, their bodies mirroring each other as they dodged and attacked. Laughter filled the chamber as Nathan exaggerated his moves, his competitive spirit evident. Sayla stiffened initially but gradually mimicked him more fluidly, her footwork becoming graceful. "You're quite impressive," Nathan said, genuinely impressed at her adaptability. "You should consider combat training for your people." "We are trained for different forms of survival," she said, panting slightly. "Emotional resilience and mental focus take precedence." "Maybe you need a little chaos in your life," he teased, twirling away from a projected attack. "Chaos? Yeah. It's not all about calculations and logic. Sometimes emotions reflect in action, and that's how bonds are forged." He stepped closer, sensing her intrigue. "What would your kind do without feeling? Fear leads to caution. Caution keeps us alive," she replied, though Nathan could see a flicker of doubt in her eyes. "But what about joy?" He stepped back as a grin broke through. "What about love?" "Love is a liability," she stated. "Not for me," he countered. If people didn't dare to feel, we might never reach out to others. Sayla paused, a flicker of uncertainty flicking across her face. You seem to hold this as a virtue. I do, he replied. With risk comes growth. With pain comes understanding. The intensity between them changed when Sayla took a small step forward, her eyes locking onto his. But understand this, the Calyx have survived for eons by this method. Emotions attract not just allies but enemies. What if fear isn't our only option? Nathan took a small step toward her, both daring and hopeful. Then what? Will you open a door that should remain closed? She asked, searching his eyes for answers. I'd rather take that risk and find out, he said softly, their distance shrinking. For the first time, Nathan saw a flicker of something in her gaze. A hint of yearning or perhaps wonder. Commander, we can only strive for balance, she finally said, contemplative. I believe balance thrives where boundaries are pushed. Nathan held her gaze. Wouldn't you agree? Sayla's expression softened momentarily. Perhaps. Balance and risk can coexist. In that charged moment, Nathan felt an undeniable pull toward her. As they shared a breath, the connection deepened, an unseen thread weaving between their worlds. Would she allow herself to feel, or would her training keep her shackled? Let's meet again tomorrow, he finally said, breaking the silence. We have much to discuss. Yes, tomorrow, Sayla replied, her voice barely above a whisper. As they parted, Nathan couldn't shake the feeling that he had glimpsed something more profound behind her impassive facade. A world of possibility lingered just beneath the surface, a world he was determined to explore. Chapter 2, Breaking Barriers. The next day began with a tension that buzzed in the air like a low hum. Nathan found himself pacing in the briefing room, anticipation thrumming through him as he waited for Sayla. The crew members filed in, their whispers cutting through the stillness. Commander Reed, Lieutenant Mara Lynn called, referencing the Calyx upcoming presentation. Any insights on how this meeting will unfold? Nothing concrete yet. But I have a feeling we're at a turning point, Nathan replied, glancing at the clock. I just hope Sayla understands how vital this is. Mara raised an eyebrow, a subtle smirk creeping on her lips. You're not worried about the fate of the galaxy, but rather about impressing someone? Not just anyone, she's intriguing. Right? She chuckled. Just watch out for those Calyx heartstrings, they're notoriously unyielding. Just then, the door slid open, and Sayla walked in, her presence commanding the room without her uttering a word. She wore her usual neutral expression, but today, there was a certain intensity in her gaze. Commander Reed, she greeted, her melodic voice cutting through the chatter. Sayla, welcome. I appreciate you coming. Nathan smiled, gesturing for her to sit at the circular table. Sayla took her place across from him, her fingers steepled in front of her. I have been contemplating our discussion from yesterday. Good, he replied, leaning forward. I believe emotions can help us move forward. It's how we build connections. Connections imply vulnerability, she noted, raising an eyebrow. Would you be willing to share your vulnerabilities? Nathan hesitated, weighing the risk. Did he want to reveal more of himself? I've had my fair share of failures, he began, feeling the weight of his words. I lost my first command during a skirmish. It was my decision that cost lives. Sayla studied him intently, her expression wavering slightly. You carry this burden with you? Each day. It's not easy to shake off, he confessed. But it drives me to do better. I learned from it. Interesting, she replied, her eyes narrowing. I'm trained to avoid such emotional pitfalls. They can lead to irrational decision-making. Aren't we all somewhat irrational? He countered, his voice softening. What we feel shapes us, makes us strive for something better. Sayla tilted her head, considering his words. You hold great conviction in your beliefs. Only because I know what it's like to lose. He dared to lean closer, searching her eyes. I don't want to see anyone else suffer. The air thickened between them, contributing to a growing intimacy. Sayla seemed to wrestle with her thoughts before she shifted the conversation. Tell me, Commander, how does a person enjoy life when weighed down by guilt? Nathan chuckled softly. By allowing the weight to inspire joy. It's not just about carrying your burdens, it's also about celebrating what you hold dear. She regarded him thoughtfully. You speak of joy as a choice. Absolutely. It's about those little moments, flying with friends, sharing a meal, or even quieter things like watching a sunset. They matter. Sayla leaned back in her chair, a sudden wistfulness washing over her features. I've rarely taken the time to appreciate such moments. Then let's change that. You're on my ship, you should enjoy the experience. How about a dinner tonight? He asked, trying to maintain a casual tone. She blinked a couple of times, visibly taken aback. A dinner? Yes. Just us, no formality, Nathan reiterated. I can show you a bit of Earth cuisine, even if it's just replicated. What do you say? Sayla hesitated, her fingers fidgeting against the table. This feels unconventional. Exactly. Let's break the mold a bit. Step out of that comfort zone, he encouraged, a teasing smile lighting up his face. And what does this mean for the summit? She challenged, her tone lighter than before. It means getting to know each other better, Nathan replied, leaning back with a grin. And who knows? Maybe it will lead to insights that benefit our peoples. I am intrigued by your proposition, she said slowly, contemplating the implications. Very well, I shall consider it. Consider it? He teased. I take that as a yes. I'll have Mara arrange the dinner. Sayla smirked slightly, a rare sight that sent a ripple of satisfaction through him. I look forward to it, Commander. As the meeting progressed, discussions about trade agreements and technological exchanges droned on with the typical rigor of diplomacy. Yet, Nathan found his attention drifting, unable to shake off the sense that connections were building between them that were greater than any treaty. At some point, Mara cleared her throat, drawing Nathan's attention back to the meeting. Commander, an analysis of the proposed systems shows a potential risk of about 30%. Let's focus on the positives, Nathan interjected. What can we achieve if all parties contribute equally? Yes, but the risks can be mitigated with teamwork. Nathan glanced at Sayla, who was watching him with an expression he hadn't expected. Admiration, perhaps? We need to showcase how cooperation can lead to mutual advantages. Sayla nodded slowly and chose to join in. Perhaps a risk-sharing agreement could be enacted? Each party could contribute according to their capabilities while sharing in the potential benefits and losses. Nathan's heart raced at the spark of collaboration. See? That's what I mean. The value of other perspectives makes all the difference. Mara took notes, visibly impressed. That could actually work, if we can get each faction to agree. The discussion picked up momentum and Nathan felt a rush of energy in Sayla's presence. The ideas flowed freely between them, each building off the other, a dance of intellect that stirred something deep within Nathan. As the meeting came to an end, Nathan faced Sayla, his heart pounding with excitement. Today was productive. I didn't expect our discussion to lead to such fruitful ideas. Neither did I, she replied, her tone lighter. Sometimes I forget what collaboration can yield. Are you ready for dinner then? He asked, barely containing his enthusiasm. As ready as I can be, Sayla said, a faint smile teasing her lips. They parted from the meeting, and Nathan's mind raced at the thought of their upcoming dinner. Life had become more than merely strategic discussions. It held promise, connection, and perhaps something entirely new awaiting discovery. As he prepared for the evening, he couldn't help but hope that maybe, just maybe he could encourage Sayla to explore the emotional depths she had kept at bay for so long. Chapter 3, The Spark. As evening approached on the Bellerophon, Nathan paced briskly in his quarters, rehearsing the details for his dinner with Sayla. The luminous screens flickered with the display of Earth's fine cuisines selected by Lieutenant Mara, savoring dishes that could tantalize even the most discerning palate. But Nathan's heart raced for another reason. It wasn't the food that excited him, it was the possibility of sharing something genuinely meaningful. Commander, everything is ready, Mara said, stepping into the room with a broad smile. What do you think of the spread? Nathan turned to the table where an array of colorful dishes adorned the surface. This looks incredible. You've outdone yourself. Just trying to make sure our Calyx guest feels welcome, she replied with a playful wink. Are you ready for this? You're aware they might not approach dinner like we do. I'll handle it, Nathan said with determination, straightening his posture. We'll figure this out together. Just remember, don't push too hard. Mara raised her eyebrows, a knowing look in her eyes. Good luck, Commander. With a nod, Nathan took a deep breath. After spending the day in meetings, he felt a tingle of anxiety mixed with excitement. This dinner could be a turning point in their relationship. Mara, is Sayla on her way? He asked. She's on her way up. Just a few minutes. Nathan felt the heat of anticipation rising as he adjusted the set pieces on the table, aligning every dish to perfection. He glanced at the clock, she should arrive any moment. When the door finally slid open, Sayla stepped in, her presence overtaking the room. She wore a stunning outfit adorned with intricate patterns that sparkled under the soft lights, a stark contrast to her usual uniform. Her eyes widened as she absorbed the setup. "Commander." "You went to great lengths," she said, genuine surprise evident in her voice. "Only the best for you," Nathan replied, giving her a warm smile. "Please have a seat." Sayla moved gracefully to the table, her gaze flicking over the dishes. "What exactly do you call these food items?" "Today's menu features a selection of Earth's traditional cuisine," Nathan explained, eager to share. "We have pasta, a salad, and for dessert a chocolate cake." Her expression shifted from skepticism to something akin to intrigue. "Pasta? Is it flexible?" "It's soft and comforting," Nathan assured her, sitting across from her. "I promise it's enjoyable." Sayla gave a nod of acknowledgement as Nathan served her a helping of pasta. He watched her pick up the fork hesitantly. "What's the proper method for this?" she asked, confusion evident in her brow. "Just like this." Nathan twirled the fork with a flourish, capturing the noodles. "Here, let me show you." As he demonstrated, the strands of pasta formed perfectly around his fork. He offered it to her, but instead of taking it, she hesitated. "Will you eat with me?" "You mean a share," he clarified, a grin spreading across his face. "Yes, I mean share," she said, her expression serious yet intrigued. "Okay, let's do it." With a playful flick of his wrist, he twirled another forkful and held it for her. Sayla leaned toward him, the atmosphere thick with unspoken tension. She took a bite, and an expression of curiosity crossed her face as the flavor hit her palate. "Interesting," she murmured, eyebrows raised. "I would not have imagined something like this could exist." Nathan chuckled, his heart leaping at her response. "There's a whole universe of flavor to explore." "So, what do you think?" "Surprisingly pleasant," Sayla admitted, a hint of warmth touching her tone. "This is only the beginning," Nathan said, feeling emboldened. "We have an array of flavors and experiences to explore." As the meal progressed, their dialogue flowed more easily. Sayla discovered the wonders of everything from crisp salads to cherry tomatoes, each new dish conveying parts of Nathan's culture. "Why do humans enjoy food so much?" she inquired between bites, truly curious. "Food is more than sustenance, it's a chance to connect," he said thoughtfully. "Each dish carries memories of celebrations, family gatherings, and shared moments. It's a way to express love and appreciation." Sayla paused, contemplating. "Expression through food, this concept is foreign to me." "Is it really?" Nathan pressed, intrigued. "What about when your people gather?" "We eat as a necessity, not as an experience," she replied, a tinge of sadness apparent. "It is part of our efficiency." "Efficiency isn't everything," he countered gently. "When we eat together, we create bonds. It fosters a sense of belonging. You don't feel like a machine." A flicker of realization crossed Sayla's eyes as she seemed to absorb his words. "Belonging, is that something vital to your kind?" "It is," Nathan affirmed. "We thrive on connection. Without it, everything feels empty." They both fell silent, pondering the weight of those words. Nathan leaned back, a beat of nervous energy buzzing in the air. "So, shall we move to dessert?" "I eagerly await this cake," Sayla admitted, a small smile breaking her usual stoic demeanor. Nathan presented the chocolate cake, the rich aroma wafting through the air. "This is the piece de resistance. Allow me." When he served her a slice, he felt the atmosphere shift, the air thickening with anticipation as she took her first bite. Her eyes widened and a moment of pure delight washed over her features. "This is remarkable," she exclaimed, her usual restraint fading for a moment. "Is this what joy feels like?" He laughed. "Exactly. You're getting the hang of it." Sayla's laughter surprised him, a bright sound that lit up the room. "You are quite persuasive, Commander." "Maybe I just have good food," he quipped, enjoying her rare laughter. After savoring the cake, they took a moment to enjoy each other's company. Sayla looked thoughtful, her expression cons. "Do for my ship. I love flying, the rush of navigating distant systems, connecting with others, and helping them." "I can sense your passion," Sayla remarked softly. "Do you believe that connection is essential for happiness?" "Absolutely," Nathan asserted. "Even in moments of solitude, it's the memories of connections that keep us grounded." Sayla leaned in closer, her voice dropping. "You speak of these bonds with such conviction. I have lived so long without truly understanding them." "Then let me help you find them," Nathan said, his heart pounding. "We can explore the universe, solve mysteries, do everything together." She looked into his eyes, considering his words. "Together." At that moment, an electricity surged through the air. They locked eyes, the weight of emotions bridging the gap between them. As the moment hung, Nathan felt an urge to break the distance. "You don't have to be alone. Whatever you've experienced, you can share it with me." Sayla's expression softened, and for a moment he glimpsed something raw beneath her composed exterior, a desire to connect. "Let us see where this leads," she replied, her voice barely a whisper. Nathan nodded, a thrill of exhilaration igniting within him. The spark had been lit and uncertainty no longer shadowed their path. In an ever-expanding universe, they had found a small piece of it together, a bond fueled by exploration, discovery, and perhaps even the beginnings of understanding one another's hearts. Chapter 4, The Connection Deepens. The next day, the Bellerophon hummed with excitement as Nathan made preparations for another meeting with Sayla. An inexplicable energy filled the air, buzzing like static before a storm. He found himself replaying the dinner in his mind, their laughter, the shared moments, and that spark he felt when she truly opened up. "Commander, you look a bit lost in thought," Mara Lin remarked, stepping beside him in the control room. "You seemed to hit it off last night." "I just want to build on that connection," Nathan admitted, glancing at the star-filled void outside. "There's so much we could explore together." "Just watch out, she's Calyx. They can be difficult to read," Mara warned, her tone serious yet supportive. "You don't want to overwhelm her." "I'm not trying to overwhelm her," he replied, a grin flickering on his lips. "Just facilitate a conversation." Mara shrugged. "Just be careful. The depths of Calyx emotions can be deeper than you think." "Understood," Nathan replied, his mind drifting back to the focus of their meeting. "We're still primarily discussing the summit, right?" "Yes, and we'll be going over shared interests today, the foundation for future agreements." Mara's eyes sparkled with enthusiasm. "She just might surprise you." An hour had hardly passed when Sayla's form appeared at the doorway, her posture elegant but nothing less than commanding. An air of intensity surrounded her, and Nathan felt his pulse quicken at her presence alone. "Commander Reed," she greeted, her voice smooth and cool, yet now with a hint of familiarity. "Sayla, I'm glad you're here," he replied, waving her toward the gathering space. "I thought we could brainstorm ideas for working together." "Brainstorming?" She tilted her head, an inquisitive spark in her eyes. "Yes. Let's explore possibilities that shape our collaboration. Your insights have been incredibly valuable." He motioned to a console displaying potential topics for discussion. "Join me." With a nod, Sayla walked closer, her gaze studying the projections with interest. "What concepts are you considering?" "Shared technological advancement, cultural exchanges, things that could enhance our people's understanding of one another." As he spoke, Nathan felt a sense of purpose. "For instance, Calyx technology is renowned for its efficiency while we have different strengths that could be beneficial," he suggested. "You speak as if we should merge into a single entity," Sayla replied, her tone cautious. "Not at all. Think of it as a collaboration where both sides retain their identities while enriching one another," Nathan replied, offering his hand to the console. "Imagine what our cultures could learn from each other." Sayla stepped closer to the console, her eyes gleaming with curiosity. "Perhaps we could showcase our technological innovations during the summit. A demonstration could lead to greater interest and cooperation." "Exactly. That's the spirit," Nathan said, excitement giving energy to his words. "We could lead discussions about practical applications while emphasizing our unique qualities." Under the colors of swirling projections, a dance of ideas unfolded, each suggestion more vibrant than the last. Sayla's understanding evolved as she engaged with Nathan's proposals, allowing her own creativity to surface. "What if we combined our medical technologies?" Sayla proposed, her tone shifting to one of eagerness. "Calyx medical advancements could benefit from human insights on emotional care, while our biological advancements could enhance yours." "That's brilliant," Nathan agreed, feeling the spark of collaboration igniting. "Imagine a combined approach to healing could bridge the gap between physical and emotional barriers." "Yes, exactly," she said, her excitement now palpable. "We could showcase case studies during the summit. They would help everyone understand the significance," Nathan added, leaning closer. "It's a genuine game changer." Sayla paused, her expression growing serious. "But will your people be willing to adapt? And will your people accept that emotional connection is essential in healing?" Nathan countered. "Creating a dialogue about the importance of emotions could help shift perceptions." Sayla nodded slowly, absorbing his words. "Your perspective continues to intrigue me." Nathan chuckled. "I'll take that as a compliment." "Take it as encouragement instead," she suggested, a hint of mischief dancing in her eyes. As they continued to brainstorm, laughter and playful banter filled the air. Their thoughts flowed freely, creating a tapestry of ideas coloring the atmosphere around them. With each passing moment, Nathan felt the boundaries of their relationship blurring, drawing them closer. Just then, a notification chimed on Nathan's console. "The summit meeting is set for tomorrow," he announced, glancing back at Sayla. "We should possibly review the points we want to address during the discussions." "I agree." Sayla straightened, her expression shifting back to focus. We must prepare for possible reservations from the other delegations. Right? Nathan took a breath, feeling the weight of expectation. What do you suspect the biggest challenges will be? Trust. Many will question the merger of human and calyx technologies, she replied. Some may resist change, fearing that collaboration will diminish the essence of their culture. I get that, but history shows that these breakthroughs can revolutionize societies. Nathan reasoned. If we can present empathy as a strength rather than a liability, it could reshape their understanding. For a moment, Sayla fell silent, her gaze steady on Nathan. You truly believe that? I do, he asserted, meeting her eyes. I've seen what shared experiences can do for people, bridging gaps that seemed insurmountable. Sayla took a small step forward, her presence filling the space with unspoken tension. This is new territory for me, a path I've seldom explored. Then let's take it together, Nathan urged softly, the resolve in his voice resonating within her. We can do this. She held his gaze, a flicker of vulnerability shining through her usual composure. Together then, she echoed. The door to the chamber slid open, and Mara walked in with a puzzled look. Everything good here? You two seem awfully, intently engaged. Nathan chuckled, breaking the tension. Just brainstorming for the summit. More like bonding, Mara teased, giving Sayla a knowing smile. Good luck with that summit prep. As Mara left, Sayla turned to Nathan, uncertainty flickering in her expression. Are we prepared? She asked, the weight of the upcoming summit heavy in the air. We will be. And remember, we're in this as a team, Nathan reassured her. I know we can convince them to embrace our vision. Your faith in this venture is comforting, Sayla remarked, her words carrying a different weight now. Good. Now let's solidify our ideas so that when we walk into the summit, we walk in knowing we've laid the groundwork. Together. The room buzzed with renewed energy as they dove back into their discussion. They spent the remainder of their time fine-tuning their arguments and rehearsing potential rebuttals, each moment drawing them closer. As the day waned, Nathan felt a shift between them, a budding understanding that transcended words. Sayla was no longer merely a daunting figure from an alien race. She'd become a partner in navigating the uncertainties together. More than that, she sparked something inside him that hadn't dimmed since their connection had ignited. Later that evening, as they wrapped up their session, Nathan turned to her, a playful glint in his eye. So, what do you say to calling it a day? We've done good work. What is your intention for the evening? Sayla asked, a hint of curiosity in her voice. Dinner again, this time with more earth delicacies? Or maybe I can convince you to try some of your own calyx recipes? He suggested, a hopeful smile forming. She paused to consider. I would not mind sharing a calyx meal if you're willing to partake. Absolutely, he replied, grinning. Let's trade recipes and stories. Cooking together could be our next adventure. As they left the room, Nathan couldn't shake the sensation that this growing connection was transforming not only their partnership but also both their worlds. And for the first time, he could sense that they would traverse uncharted territories hand in hand, facing whatever challenges lay ahead. Chapter 5, A New Dawn. The day of the summit dawned bright and clear, a stark contrast to the tension hanging in the air. Nathan stood before the vast observation window of the Bellerophon, gazing into the deep void of space. Palpitations raced through him as he contemplated the beginning of a new chapter, not just for the summit, but for his evolving relationship with Sayla. Commander, Mara called as she approached. Are you ready for this? Yes, but more importantly, I hope Sayla is, he replied, turning to face her. This could be monumental. Just remember, you both have what it takes to sway them. Even if it feels daunting, she reassured him. The last thing you need is to carry the weight of every decision alone. Thanks, Mara. I appreciate that. Nathan took a deep breath. I should meet her. As he left the observation deck, he felt a rush of anticipation. Their journey together had shifted from cautious steps to something bolder, and he relished the thought of what lay ahead. He found Sayla preparing in the conference room, adjusting holographic displays showcasing their proposed ideas. Her focus was unwavering, but as he entered, she looked up and her demeanor shifted. Commander Reed, she greeted, her voice steady but laced with something softer. Are you ready for the discussions? I think so. But honestly, I'm more interested in how you feel about it, Nathan replied, moving closer. You've put so much thought into this. Sayla paused, her expression contemplative. I feel apprehension. Change is always daunting, and I do not wish for others to resist our proposals. The best way to show them the value is through our joint presentations, Nathan encouraged. If you show confidence, they'll respond. You know your people. You can sway them. She nodded, visibly steeling herself. Then let us create a convincing argument. Together, under Nathan's guidance, they went over their presentation one last time, framing the narrative not only as a merger of technology, but as a partnership rooted in mutual understanding. Sayla's passion for her culture began to shine through with every word she spoke, her confidence blossoming alongside their bond. Nathan, what if they reject our ideas? She asked, her voice tinged with uncertainty. Then we'll adapt. We'll navigate whatever challenges arise, he responded with a reassuring smile. Regardless of the outcome, we've already achieved something significant by coming together. Sayla seemed to absorb his words, and just then, the ship's intercom chimed, signaling that the summit was about to start. It's time, she whispered, her voice barely above a hush. Let's go show them what we can do, he said, heart pounding with adrenaline. They left the room and made their way through the corridors filled with diplomats and delegates from different species, the chatter echoing around them. As they entered the meeting hall, Nathan noticed the large central table brimming with faces from various civilizations, each keeping an air of skepticism or eagerness. Nathan felt a surge of determination. He and Sayla were here not just as representatives but as individuals eager to connect. Welcome, the moderator announced, a tall figure from the Vonran race known for their towering stature and imposing presence. Today, we will discuss potential agreements between our peoples, starting with human-Calyx relations. As the talks began, Nathan focused on Sayla, who stood by his side, her poise improving as they discussed shared achievements and ideas. Nathan narrated how humanity thrived on collaboration, studying Calyx advancements with passion, each argument building on their core message. As our species evolve, it becomes evident that cooperation is crucial, Nathan proclaimed, drawing the attention of the room. Through Calyx technology and human emotional insight, we can reshape our medical practices, allowing for a more holistic approach to care. Sayla stepped forward, her voice now commanding yet passionate. If we look beyond our differences, we may uncover a path that leads us not only to technological innovations but to greater understanding. What lies between us is rich, and together we can enhance the lives of countless beings. Whispers spread through the room and a soft tension erupted in the air. Nathan sensed a hesitant curiosity building, and he glanced at Sayla, who appeared resolute. A delegate from the Lowerith race raised a hand, a skeptical expression marring his features. What assurances do we have that this cooperation will not hinder our own technological advancements? Nathan stepped in. With an open dialogue, we can help each other grow. The key is not to stifle growth but to enhance innovation through partnership. Our cultures can learn from one another rather than compete for superiority. A murmur of agreement rippled through the audience, but another delegate countered. Trust, however, is earned. How can you guarantee that emotions will not cloud your judgment? Unfortunately, one cannot predict every variable, Nathan admitted. But we're proposing a framework where every voice is heard, where we don't shy away from our emotional experiences. They shape our decisions for the better. A perspective we believe adds value rather than diminishes it. Sayla stepped forward again, her demeanor shifting into a comforting yet authoritative presence. Understanding emotions, acknowledging fears and hopes, is what propels progress forward. If we cultivate a shared understanding, we will thrive together. Are we afraid of what lays ahead? Or are we ready to embrace the unknown? The once skeptical gaze of the Lowerith delegate softened, curiosity glimmering in his eyes. As the discussions continued, Nathan felt the tide shifting. With each argument presented, the dialogue shifted toward curiosity rather than skepticism. Eventually, the moderator called for a short recess, the delegates conversing amongst themselves. Sayla sank into a nearby chair, visibly relieved. You did well, Nathan complimented, smiling brightly at her. I knew you had it in you. Your support was invaluable, she replied, a soft glow of pride surfacing on her face. I never thought I would be able to articulate our proposals so passionately. Nathan leaned in, his eyes locking onto hers. We did this together. That's what makes it so impactful. She searched his gaze, and for a moment they shared something deeper, an unspoken acknowledgement that this had transformed them both. They were more than representatives of their species, they were partners weaving a fabric of understanding that extended beyond words. As the meeting resumed, the mood turned to one of hope and optimism, the delegates engaging in a more open dialogue. Sayla and Nathan took turns presenting concepts, building not just on their proposals but on a newly forged trust among them. After hours of vigorous discussions, the moderator called for a vote on their proposals that had been presented. Nathan and Sayla exchanged glances, both holding their breath as the results were tallied. The room buzzed with anticipation before the moderator announced, "The majority agrees to initiate a preliminary agreement toward collaboration and exploration between our peoples." A wave of relief washed over Nathan, and he turned to Sayla, who looked stunned. "We did it," he said, unable to contain his excitement. "Yes, it seems we have," she replied, a bright smile breaking through her still composed demeanor. As they left the summit, Nathan could hardly contain his own celebration. Every concern he had melted away, replaced by a profound sense of accomplishment. "Tonight, we should celebrate," he declared, his spirited enthusiasm contagious. "How do you feel about a dinner, like before? Only this time, it's a victory dinner." Sayla laughed, a sound that filled him with warmth. "I would like that very much. Perhaps we can discuss the next steps over a meal." "Exactly. And I'll make sure to curate something special this time," he promised, feeling a thrilling anticipation. "Then let us make the arrangements," she said, her excitement matching his. As they prepared to embark on a shared meal, Nathan realized just how far they had come. Not just as colleagues, but as companions navigating a path of understanding and exploration together. The universe felt a little less vast and a little more vibrant, each star promising new possibilities, and with Sayla by his side, Nathan knew they were embarking on a journey that would continue to reshape their worlds. Together,